News in the NFL. This broke today, about 5 hours ago. Gardner Minshew's been traded. Funny because obviously, like up till about 3 days ago, Urban Meyer was saying Gardner might be the starter, and yeah, they traded him for a 6th-round pick. So Gardner Minshew is now on the Eagles, and the Eagles. I don't know really why they need Gardner. I mean, all Gardner Minshew is gonna do is bring in more drama. You know, he's gonna be their third string, I'm assuming, because Joe Flacco's the second. Minshew's better than Joe Flacco, especially right now, but I do think that for the time being, Minshew's going to be their third-string quarterback. You know, they already had a really good third-stringer. They had Nick Mullens. They cut Nick Mullens and replaced him with Gardner Minshew. Minshew's better than Nick Mullens, but the problem is Minshew's going to bring more drama than Nick Mullens because Minshew wants to be a starter, which is the problem. I mean, the Eagles really do not need another guy who wants to be a starter. That's the problem. Nick Mullens would just sit back and enjoy the show. He's fine being a backup. Gardner Minshew and Joe Flacco, those two guys both want to start because they both used to be starters. They know what it's like. Nick Mullens, he started 16 games at the 49ers, but he knew that was only because of injuries. Like, Nick Mullens knows his role. His role is a backup. He would have been better, I think, for the Eagles, honestly, than Minshew. I know Minshew's a better player. He is a better player, but, I mean, he's not the right fit for the team. Because the Eagles really need Jalen Hurts to become that starting quarterback. They really cannot handle another year of quarterback drama. But anyways, Gardner Minshew to the Eagles. Nick Mullens has been cut. And Nick Mullens, here's my idea for him. There's a team in the NFC with a quarterback who may or may not be able to play this year that I think Nick Mullens would be great for. The Dallas Cowboys should sign Nick Mullens. No, I'm not crazy. I'm not to be the starter, but many reports have been coming out about Dak Prescott, and supposedly it's not looking great. Now, I do think he's going to play, but he's looking very injured, supposedly. He's got a bad shoulder, a banged-up shoulder, and, yeah, things are not looking good for Dak Prescott. So whether or not he plays, that's not the question. He's going to play, but he might not be very good. Because if his shoulder is truly bad, I mean, supposedly the Cowboys have been in talks with Texas Rangers doctors and New York Yankees doctors. Like, they're saying this is a baseball injury. It's a throwing injury. There's a possibility that Dak Prescott may have to get Tommy John surgery if things continue to go south. And in that case, let me tell you, Garrett Gilbert is not the backup quarterback that Cowboys are looking for. And he's the current guy they have on the roster. The Cowboys need a backup who can actually play. Because Garrett Gilbert, he's a practice squad guy, is what he is. And their other guys, Ben DiNucci is a practice squad guy, and Cooper Rush is a practice squad guy. The Cowboys don't have a legitimate backup for Dak, and that's a problem because Dak is probably going to be injured this year, at least at some point. The Cowboys should sign Nick Mullens. Nick Mullens, a lot of people don't know this, Nick Mullens, in his first 13 starts, only 2 quarterbacks have more passing yards in their first 13 starts than Nick Mullens did in his first 13 starts. You know who they are? Andrew Luck and Patrick Mahomes. That's pretty elite category. And I'm not saying Nick Mullens is the next Andrew Luck or the next Patrick Mahomes, because he's not. He's a backup quarterback. But he's a decent backup. And I think that there's a lot of teams in the league that would like to have him. You know, it's crazy to me that he doesn't have a team. He's the best free agent quarterback right now in the NFL. Him and Blake Bortles are really the only two there are. Everybody else is pretty much either retired. I mean, Robert Griffin retired, so they could try to get him out of retirement, but he doesn't even really fit with the club's scheme, I don't think. And he's got the sweet gig at ESPN now, broadcasting college football games, so I really don't think Robert Griffin is going to come out of retirement. The Cowboys, so really their options is, you know, Blake Bortles and Nick Mullens are the two free agent quarterbacks that are actually worthy of getting signed, I think. Because after that, it's just a bunch of practice squad guys like Devlin Hodges, who obviously they don't want Devlin Hodges. Or they could wait till November and try to get Phillip Rivers, because apparently he wants to come out of retirement and play for a contender whose quarterback gets injured. But I don't know how well that would work for the Cowboys. I really do think they should sign Nick Mullens. I think he'd be a great fit for the team. He gets a lot of passing yards. He was 3-5 last year for the most injured team in the league. I believe he beat the Cardinals. And he had a couple of pretty impressive showings. It's just crazy to me that he doesn't have a team, but his backup, C.J. Beathard, is now the second stringer for the Jaguars. So C.J. Beathard, the guy who got benched for Nick Mullens, right? Because C.J. was initially going to be their starter in 2018 when Jimmy G went down, but he got benched, and then they brought in Nick Mullens after that. And then last year, for the entirety of last season, C.J. was the third stringer. And I believe Nick Mullens is 5-11 in his career. C.J. Beathard is something like 2-10 or something. So Mullens has more wins, better stats, and Beathard was his backup. But Beathard has a job, Mullens doesn't. That's crazy to me. But yeah, Nick Mullens and the Cowboys. That would be a great fit, I think, because the Cowboys, obviously, Andy Dalton's gone, and someone's got to be there when Dak gets injured, because Dak's going to get injured. The Yankees and the Texas Rangers, their doctors have been talking to the Cowboys. It's a baseball injury. It's a throwing arm injury. It's a shoulder injury. It's not looking very good. So Dak might play. He's going to just do a bunch of little 10-yard passes, little slant routes, and, dump it off. That's not going to cut it for Dak, and eventually Dak's going to try to overplay, and he's going to injure his shoulder, and he's going to need to get surgery. That's just the unfortunate truth about it. Mark my words, it's going to happen. So anyways, that is the news on the Minshew situation, and that is my request, I guess, as someone who frequently roots for the Cowboys. The Cowboys are my third favorite team in the NFL. So as a Cowboys fan, please, go get a real backup. Go sign Nick Mullens. The other option really is to wait till November and try to get Phillip Rivers to come out of retirement. And Phillip Rivers is very adamant. He wants to play, but only for a contender and only after October because he's coaching high school until October.